Well, howdy there, Internet people. It's Bo again. So today we are going to talk about the Supreme Court, restoring confidence in the court, and what Democrats in the Senate are planning to do in regards vacation habits of a certain Supreme Court justice, and where it may go from here. If you have no idea what I'm talking about, Justice Thomas has some unique vacation habits that are being examined. I'll have a video down below in the description to provide a little bit more insight into it. The Senate Judiciary Committee, the Democrats on the Senate Judiciary Committee, basically sent a very strongly worded letter to the Chief Justice. It says, in the coming days, the Senate Judiciary Committee will hold a hearing regarding the need to restore confidence in the Supreme Court's ethical standards. It goes on. If the court does not resolve this issue on its own, the committee will consider legislation to resolve it, but you do not need to wait for Congress to act to undertake your own investigation into the reported conduct and to ensure that it cannot happen again. We urge you to do so. Okay, so the Democratic Party, the Senate Judiciary Committee, is basically saying you clean this up or we're going to. An internal investigation that is done at the request of the Chief Justice would probably have a more favorable outcome for Thomas. It might also get to the point when it comes to recommendations on what to do, basically follow the rules in the future. Here are the new ethical guidelines. That is a likely outcome. The alternative would be continued pressure, and it starts to build up, and Democrats in the Senate feel like they have to do something about it, at which point they propose legislation or they conduct hearings of their own. If they do that, understand, like we talked about in that first video, it's not really going to be about the vacations. The yacht, all of that stuff, you've already seen the headlines since then. You know, stuff like Supreme Court justices can have friends too. And there's cover for that. But it looks, by the reporting, that Thomas used that private jet at other points in time. That will become more problematic than anything involving a mega yacht. It's certainly the way it looks to be shaping up, because there is that cover. Doesn't mean it's right. It just means that if the vacations are what gets focused on, most of the public is going to be like, because they're going to be inundated with articles saying it's okay. This happens sometimes and stuff like that. But that use of the private jet, if it did in fact occur without his host, well, that's something different. And if there is an investigation or a set of hearings, my guess is that the plane rides are going to be way more important than anything else. Now, the strongly worded letter, we'll have to wait and see where it goes. It might prompt the Chief Justice to act, it might not. And there's a whole bunch of variables at this point as far as where it goes from here, but your most likely options are an investigation that is kind of internal to the Supreme Court, in which case there's probably not a lot that's going to happen to Thomas. If it becomes a big deal and there are hearings, it might change. There might be a larger chance of him maybe deciding it's time to retire or something along those lines, or some kind of penalty imposed. But there's still a whole lot up in the air, and the Judiciary Committee, they are acting, which is what they promised, but it's not exactly decisive. Anyway, it's just a thought. Y'all have a good day.